All right, we're recording now. I get my notes here. Hey everybody, thank you very much for joining me. Today, I am pleased and blessed and really excited to have the opportunity to introduce Vincent Familaro to Amazon sellers all over the world. Vin is like our escalation department. He is our escalation department. He helps some private label brands, and the cases that we're having a really hard time winning, where the plans of action just aren't like striking gold, those cases get escalated to Vin Familaro. And we're going to be talking about a whole different series of information for sellers today. Vin, what I want to start talking about is your experience helping major sellers who have received multiple intellectual property right complaints.
I have like a handful of really, really big clients that I deal with every day that have a plethora of IP complaints, and they send me IP complaints every day, and whether they're counterfeit, trademark, copyright, or patent, I tackle them every day. There's a whole bunch of them, and they all kind of have the same type of IP complaints. Uh, I'm pretty much like their Amazon doctor, and I just kind of tackle them as they come along. And I have like a good relationship with all of them, so I know whether they want to sell the products or they don't want to sell the products. And mainly, most of them are just trying to keep their account healthy and not have any of these complaints lingering just on their account health. They don't want any more strikes on their account.
Well, where
So
do you start? When one of our hourly clients calls you up, and these are long-term relationships that we have with certain clients who are big, big sellers. When you get that call or the email and it's Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, where do you start? What's the first thing you do when you see one of our ongoing clients has some more IP issues?
um, whether they want to sell the product or not, that's kind of the first. That's the first thing to really address. Because if they have like a bunch of remaining inventory, we're obviously going to fight it. If they never sold the product and they don't have and they don't have much inventory and it's not a big seller, they just want to get the complaint removed. So once you figure that out, then you figure out where you want to go with the appeals or with the letters, and like whether you want to like write a resolution letter or just try to get a basis with the complaint and try to work something out. Um, and really that's where it all starts, and that's how you like kind of map out the rest of the way you're going to tackle the complaint. Because if they want to sell it, then you're gonna fight it, you're gonna try to disprove the allegation, and you're gonna try to get it back on Amazon. If you don't want to if they don't want to sell it, then it's a lot easier to write a resolution letter with the complainant, which you have a higher probability of getting them to retract the complaint if they don't want to sell it, and then it's a higher probability to get Amazon to respond and accept the appeal if you don't have any need to sell the product anymore in the future.
What kind of factors are you seeing larger sellers? I think this is a great conversation for small to medium sized sellers, so they can also learn how to make better business decisions. Other than like just how much inventory, what other factors are the large sellers that you work with every day? What are they taking into consideration in making that decision, whether they want to sell the product or they want to give up that listing?
Just depending on the inventory that they most of them is really, if they have inventory on stock, they would want to get rid of it. Um, that's probably like the biggest identifier of like whether you're going to attack, like to appeal and try to get the ACE reinstated, or you're going to try to fight it and just try to get it removed from your account history. 'Cause regardless, you don't want it on your account health. You don't want
So
that.
the bottom line, the biggest factor is how much inventory they have. They have a couple of $1,000s, they're okay letting it go. They start having tens of thousands of dollars or more, then they're like, no, no, we got to be able to sell this to get our
Well,
money
they
back.
they want to, at least, even if they don't, they just want to get rid of their inventory, at least, if they even if that's the case. But if it's their brand name product and we feel like we have an argument, like by all means, we'll try to keep appealing it, try to fight it. If yeah, if it really comes down to it, then you would like. and things aren't working, then I'll have a conversation regarding like whether it's like the smarter decision to get rid of it, just to try to get the complaint removed off of their account health. But if they really, really want to sell it, we go through all the different various appeal teams and different avenues in order to try to get it reinstated. Even try to like resolve it with the complainant, but those type of disputes, the complainants really aren't very either responsive or they're not really willing to talk or try to resolve something because they're just
Well,
trying to protect their brand.
let's go through the different steps, okay? So let's say we have one of our big hourly clients. He's got a boatload of a product. He wants to keep selling it. Are you reaching out to the complainant to get the ball started?
I do both at the same time. I reach out to the complainant as well as provide the client a notice dispute appeal. I just like to get the ball rolling on both of them. I try because if I can get the appeal and it works first try, great. But sometimes it doesn't work. And then if I can get the communications with the complainant rolling, then I can that can actually like almost resolve it quicker than the Amazon appeal, depending on how you go about it and how you try to just resolve the dispute amicably with them. Because if you do, then they can retract the complaint, and it'll be a lot easier than almost appealing to the various different Amazon appeal teams. And you might not even get a response because Amazon is either you get a response or like you can not get a response for after a bunch of appeals. And I know it's frustrating, but it's actually very common. So even just working out the dispute with the complainant could be faster in the end.
That's exactly my experience in these things. That if you can get the response, if you can get the complainant to withdraw their complaint, either because the complaint is baseless, or because you made an agreement where you can sell out your inventory and then not sell anymore or something else, that's always been the fastest in my experience here. So I'm really psyched that you do them both simultaneously. I think you're right. I think that by writing to notice dispute, you are covering both bases. Maybe it even gives you a little bit better leverage opportunity, because if Amazon puts you back on without the retraction, then screw them and screw the brand.
You could also, even when you're trying to appeal and you contact the complainant, you could use the unresponsive complainant correspondence in a further appeal but it's just all laying the groundwork to being like, here, Amazon, we are trying everything in our manpower to resolve this dispute both on and off the platform. And we hired a law firm to help, and we're just trying everything we can, to make sure this dispute doesn't happen again and to resolve it.
In your correspondence, I assume that you're using, some of our language that spells out there is no trademark complaint, there is no patent issue, there's no copyright issue.
Go to Amazon.com/report infringement, you'll see, and Amazon clearly shows that Amazon doesn't enforce detailed page ownership. They don't enforce exclusive or selective distribution agreements. When a listing creator creates the detail page, they are essentially giving all the rights to anyone to Amazon, and that listing becomes a permanent page. So all the images and the content on there is free for all the Amazon for any seller to list on. So you can just, as long as your product exactly matches that detail page, you're not infringing on anyone's trademark or copyright just from merely listing an authentic product against a pre-existing product detail page.
Guys, what you're hearing from Vin is the first sale doctrine. You can buy and sell anything you want in the United States. You don't need authorization. As long as what the consumer receives is not materially different than what the brand sells, you are good. And the vast number of brands out there still have not made changes to their products that make what you deliver anything different than what they sell. So this is great information for sellers who have a lot of business, a lot of IP complaints, and also you smaller sellers out there. If you start getting 2, 3, 4 IP complaints, you should absolutely work on getting them taken off your account through getting the complaint withdrawn or notice dispute or a combination of the two. So this is really, really great information for sellers, large and small. Vin, are you seeing any difference they can categorize in terms of the complainants, large brands versus small brands, well-known ones versus less well-known? in terms of their cooperation and withdrawing baseless complaints?
Um, Bigger brands probably aren't, like, for the majority of them, aren't really going to attract their complaint. Even smaller ones, they really just want to protect their brand. Um, I Before you list on a detail page, I'd go and check, like, there's a seller essential gated brands page, and I'd look at that before you list on them. There's a lot of those brands there are gated, and they have, like, a warranty argument, like, sneakily on their product detail page that will constitute infringement because it'll go greater than Amazon. So you kind of have to be aware of that before you list on any of these things. And they're gated, so, like, you really shouldn't be able to list it on them. But Amazon, there's hiccups. You can list on these brands by accident.
Right.
So before you list on any big brands, you should probably make sure that brand isn't gated. Because then that's just a headache that you could have done the due diligence before listing on. But as far as, like, whether it's, like, big or smaller companies, they're really just trying to protect their brand. Bigger companies definitely have more knowledge of, like, how to protect their brand on these e-commerce sites such as Amazon and eBay and Walmart, but the smaller ones don't. But really, yeah, they're both just trying to protect their brand, and just how much knowledge they have doing so. I would really, yeah, regardless of whether it's big or small brands, just try to resolve it with them outside the Amazon platform. Because if you can get that retraction, even if the retraction is not processed, it's a lot easier to write to Amazon showing that this dispute has been resolved. And within the notification that they send you, it says if you can resolve this dispute with the rights owner, have them send a retraction to notice dash dispute at Amazon whatever the platform is. So they want you to do that. So
Now, also,
it's not going to hurt you from doing both things.
sellers should know, large and small, you should know that the resolutions could take multiple forms. We've done distribution deals. We've done licensing deals. We've had brands later on reach out, say, hey, that seller that we negotiated with, we'd like to talk to them about selling our products. So the resolution is not always just simply, we'll stop selling. A lot of times there's other business to be had there. Vin, let me change gears a bit, okay? Now, you've also worked on a number of related account cases, okay? Mm-hmm. What are you seeing with related accounts? And often me and you do not see eye to eye when it comes to related accounts. But what are you seeing on related accounts these days?
If you somehow got identified for related accounts, you got to try to appeal the original one. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you're thinking about opening up another account and you just this is where we disagree, but if you think about opening another account, you really should ask Amazon for it. If you have a good account and it's doing well and you're trying to sell something on a different category, ask Amazon. Because it really, like, I don't think it hurt to ask, and you really, in order to open up another account, you have to get a pre-approval. I just think personally, because I write all these appeals all the time, I think there's too many ways that Amazon can connect you to another account if you're trying to just do it without them knowing.
So this is where I agree with everything that you said just now, Vin. Everything except, okay, there are tons of savvy sellers who are able to do it, but it's much more likely that you'll get caught. So if you're going to do it, you got to talk to sellers who are already running multiple accounts and find the ways that they're separating. And you still got to know that you're taking a risk. And I love that Vin disagrees with me on this, okay? To me, it's a business decision. Is the extra risk of getting caught worth having some diversity? Sometimes it is and sometimes it's not. And also in this firm, okay, we have such great relationships, okay? Vin doesn't happen just have the same name as my partner. He's my partner's brother, and he is smart as a tack. He's as smart as they come. Vin knows our business probably better than anybody. And when he disagrees with me, I want him to let me know because I'm not always right. So I like that we disagree on related accounts. All right, Inauthentics. As our escalation department for inauthentic listing suspensions and our escalation department for inauthentic account suspensions, what have you been seeing over the last, let's say, 1 to 4 weeks, give or take?
I guess, like, on a combination of inauthentic and like, because I don't really get too many inauthentic because I deal with a bunch of the IPs and a bunch of big hourlies, but you'll get like that they're not technically inauthentic, but counterfeit allegations that are just completely baseless. And for even like products that like either they sold on against pre-existing listings, or they just like never even sold the product and got a counterfeit allegation, which I guess like a side note is that you need to have conducted a test buy. Like the rights owner needs to do a test buy and provide the test buy information in order to file a counterfeit allegation. So if you've never sold the product, there's no way to have done test buy.
Stop right here for a second, okay? Stop right here, okay? So what Vin is saying is 100% accurate, but he's laughing because of what I'm going to point out to sellers, okay? If you never sold a product, you never delivered a counterfeit product, yet you've been accused of a crime. Now, this is not for every seller. It's only for a really select few. That if you were selling a significant amount of products, making a significant amount of money, and then someone accused you of selling counterfeit products when you absolutely were not, you have got to reach out and talk to us because you have leverage over that complainant. You could even sue that complainant if you want for defamation. It's called defamation per se is the legal cause of action, and tortious interference with contract. But you have to be certain 1,000% that you are not selling counterfeit products. And I want you to be able to use that as leverage and also possibly go after these brands that are making these baseless complaints. So I knew we were going to go there. So counterfeit complaints totally.
They all kind of conjoin together. They all like kind of mesh together. So like, and plus, I don't really handle too much inauthentic stuff anymore.
I don't want. Hey, I've got the whole list of victories right in front of me. Okay. Listen, Vin is awesome because he's really smart. He knows our business. Okay. He hunkers down and figures out new angles and wins cases, which is why he is our escalation department. Okay. So I love the humility that you have. I love how you save in accounts. I love how you are the Amazon doctor to our largest clients. And anyone who is watching this video, if you want to speak to Vin yourself, contact me. I will take my phone, I'll take my headset and put it right on Vin so you can talk to him.
He will.
Vin, is there anything else on our list that I didn't go over? We had multiple IP complaints, multiple accounts, inauthentics.
I'd probably elaborate on the inauthentic that if you guys have detailed invoices with buyer supplier information, with like with as much information for the name, address, phone, email, and website. If you have all that, we could totally help you, regardless of whether it's inauthentic or an IP thing. As long as we can find where like we can show a cohesive supply chain and see where the products are coming back. And your distributor or your supplier or wherever you're sourcing this product needs to have an internet presence, because if it doesn't have an internet presence, it's just a lot harder to appeal, because that's how the people who are reviewing these appeals, make sure that where you're getting them is real. So you just need to, if you have a cohesive supply chain, regardless if it's IP or inauthentic or just that, like regardless or either one of those complaints, we can help you.
So also if you're sourcing, like even if you haven't had this problem yet, if you have the opportunity to switch to a distributor who has an internet presence, or just tell your distributor, say, hey, listen, we're buying from you, but you have to have someone build a website. You can do it for like $500. You need an internet presence that then we can use to try to link back to the manufacturer. But you got to source from people with internet presence in advance so you can deal with the problem if you should have it. So tell your distributors, if they don't have an internet presence, get one. I mean, this is 2019. This isn't 1996 anymore.
They just have to. It's like the people reviewing the appeals, that's how they figure out if the distributors are real. That's how they figure out if they're authorized to distribute that brand. And it's just, it gives them the legitimate, just knowing that business is legitimate and is able to distribute the products that, you're claiming you got from them.
All right. Awesome. Awesome information for sellers, Vin. I really appreciate you getting online. As unlike me, Vin is not a huge fan of our video studio. And I just want to thank you for sharing the information with the sellers all over the world, multiple IP complaints, what big sellers do, how smaller sellers can use that information, inauthentic, trademark, false allegations to counterfeit. Just great, great information, Vin. Thank you very much for shooting this with me. And sellers, if you want a free consultation, if you want to learn more how we can help you or just about our process, we are here for sellers. 8779-sellers, 8779-sellers, or email me. I'm not going to give you Vin's email address because he'll shoot me, okay? cj@amazonsellerslawyer.com.
Thank you.
Awesome, Vin. Perfect. Perfect. Stop.